Good morning and welcome to Cooley Outdoors. I am your host, Brandon Scott. Now, obviously, I'm not filming this from Rex on site. There's a good reason for this. My personal phone died while out on the adventure for this video. We went up the Hamma River. So I'm having to film this afterwards. Sabrina is with me, but that's kind of okay because this isn't quite the day we thought we were going to have. You'll see later, but I'm not going to bother filming a books section either because, well, you'll just see. You know, there'll be a good hint from it from the title, which you saw, but wasn't exactly as planned. But we are going up the Hamma River Valley in the southeastern portion of the Olympic Peninsula, and we are going up. The plan for the day for her birthday no less, is to go up the Lena Lake trail to lower Lena Lake for the day, but kind of got changed plans. So thank you for joining us. I am Brandon Scott, and with me is Sabrina, as you shall see.
So, Sabrina's birthday, supposed to be on a hike. Well, as you may surmise, something's a little funny going on. First of all, that sign says Lena Campground and Trail, another mile this direction. Well, as you can tell, winter does things not just to trails, but to roads. So we get a start a little further away than expected. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, snow's still on the ground. Winter does things to trees. So we get to start a little extra adventure on our hike today. Well, we made it to the Lena Lake trailhead. It's right over there, but it took us over an hour, almost an hour and a half, to walk the little over a mile from where we parked Rex to get to the trailhead, because along with the massive amount of unexpected snow left over from the Christmas storm that dumped like 3 feet in the area, it also took down tons and tons and tons of trees. So if this was just walking along a normal flat Forest Service road, we probably would have got here in 20 minutes, half an hour. But as you will see, it took us an hour and a half because we had to cross like between 24 and 30 trees over the roadway. So it slowed us down considerably. Now, we may or may not have needed to put our snowshoes on for this, but of course I erred on the side of caution, more for Sabrina's sake than my sake, but still erred on the side of caution. And snowshoes, not exactly easy to cross trees with, but as you can see, between here and the trailhead, there is a big widowmaker branch standing upright in the middle of the road. 100 feet later, I have to cross a tree, and not more than 100 feet in front of me, Sabrina has to cross the tree. Now those are just the single trees that take a couple of seconds to slow you down. Up here a little ways, there are like 6 or 7 trees all down on top of each other in a spot, and that takes like an extra 5 to 10 minutes to get through. So, it being that at end, I stuck my nose up the Lena Lake trail proper, and it's even worse. So that winter storm that came through really did mess a lot of things up. just because of how hard and fast and heavy it hit. So this was a bit of a bust. Although not a total bust, because it's nice and sunny out and there's hardly a cloud in the sky, which is going to hopefully change tomorrow and Sunday when we go proper snowshoeing and skiing. And it's supposed to snow. But that craggy snow-covered peak in the distance is Mount Skokomish. And then over here, if I remember to videotape it later when we get closer to Rex, you can see it, is Mount Brethren. But yeah, this is how it went. It's supposed to be a full day hike. Not going to be a full day hike. So we're heading back to Rex, which he's only a mile away. He's not stuck, by the way. It's just we couldn't go any further up the road because the only reason we made it as far as we even did in Rex, because the road looks like this too. Trees down all over it with snow. And the reason we made it this far is because somebody had come in the last month and a half and cut trees away and made a path for vehicles. But didn't make it all the way. There's a fork in the road. The right turn goes up here towards Lena Lake Trail and to the end of the road up the Hamma River. And the other direction loops around and goes to some other things. And they stopped cutting at that intersection, and just beyond the intersection, coming up this way, there's a big, I think it's a birch tree that has fallen across the road and they just didn't bother to cut it. So that's as far as we made it. A good mile short. There's a couple of real thick, gnarly sections of tree that'll get video. So this isn't a hiking video, it's a fail video, I guess. But the scenery's still pretty. The sun's still out in the middle of winter. And I'll probably try and get a couple of shots of the Hamma River, which is just over there out of sight. And we'll try again tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna hopefully go up Couts Creek in Mount Rainier a ways, and then Sunday we'll go up Foss River, up Stevens Pass, and go skiing up that direction after fresh snow falls. Oh, and she tried to kill herself. So proud, babe. Mm-hmm. You do or do not want to go first?
Let me just go first.
Okay. So Munchkin has bravely decided to demonstrate the dangers of going into the forest in winter. Lots of downed trees derails best laid plans. This one little hemlock here, not so much. It's the mess that is up further. I'm gonna go this way just to avoid some of it. Now, yes, it's debatable on whether or not we should have our snowshoes on for this. I'm not gonna bother with hers because she is less sure-footed. I don't feel like stopping and taking them off because, as you can see with her feet, there is pure float. We're not sinking in at all into the snow, and I don't want to change that. Now, I think we go to the right. This mess. And there's like 2 or 3 of these, plus all the regular stragglers laying across the road. That just slows us down. So, first of all, if there was no snow and no trees, we would have been, nope, she's trying to kill herself with a stick. Yep. We would have been able to drive right to the trailhead. We wouldn't have to deal with this mess at all. But second of all, it would have been just, you know, too deep of snow to drive vehicles through. We would A, leave Rex where he was, and if there's no trees, it probably would take us, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes maybe, to walk the mile and get to the trailhead. But as you can tell, we're gonna waste time just getting over this crap. Oh, she done goofed. She's squatting a hemlock and she probably slapped her crotch onto it.
No, my thigh.
Oh, she slapped her thigh. You didn't stab your thigh with the tree branch, did you?
No, I just scraped my leg against the bark.
You just bounced. She bounced good. But yeah, this is the dangers. Because if you come out, especially if you're coming out.
Is my hair ripped anywhere?
No, it's just dirty. Just a little dirty. She gave herself a nice raspberry for later. But yeah, this portion would probably be safer with the snowshoes off, but I don't want to take them on and off and on and off and on and off. Woo! Oh yeah! Looking like a Rocket City Rockette there. Looking like a showgirl. Ow! Well, at least it's nice and sunny and pretty out.
Yeah, if it was raining, it'd be bad.
Oh yeah, no. If it was raining, we wouldn't have come out. Big jump. You gonna skip and just go to the next one like you did come in this direction?
I don't know.
Up, up, and away!
Hit a grip onto a piece and the other lost it off of it.
And frog. Bounce. Jump. Ta-da! And then she's got to jump. Alright, I suppose I should join her. So our goal is to make it there, but we gotta go around this one. So
Okay.
I'm talking to the camera.
Oh.
This is the tricky part, the dismount. Just eep, jeep, jump. Eep, jeep, jump. Oh dear! That works. I hope I got that on camera.
Oh no.
Only a gymnast can be that talented, guys.
No. I got size 20 feet on. It makes it a little difficult.
I know. Ow, something hit me in the hip. Here goes the metal frame of my backpack. Just went and chonked down onto my hip. But that was that obstacle. Now we got smooth sailing for a little bit until we run into the next chunk of trees. What'd you do, eat an alder tree?
Something shot into my mouth. But I hope it's with this ice because there's nothing in my mouth and I didn't swallow anything.
Don't eat the yellow snow. Here we have the Hamahama River. It's one of these smaller mainstream rivers on the peninsula. It's also one of the only rivers in the peninsula that doesn't one of the major rivers in the peninsula that doesn't originate off of a glacier, hence why it's so clear. And then that snowy peak out there is Mount Brethren. So if we would have gone up the Lena Lake Trail, it starts in that drainage below Brethren and goes up, and then there's a lake, and the upper trail wraps around. We'll come back another time, probably in the spring, and complete the trail, hopefully. But very pretty river, very scenic. I think it. Absolutely stunningly clear. It's small, but it's got deep holes in it. It's probably got good fish. All in all, a pretty scenic, good day. Just, you know, not what we were expecting or wanting or hoping. Hopefully the rest of the weekend goes better. Oh, so pretty. Oh, look, another tree in the roadway. I would have never guessed. It's just a pain in the butt. And you gotta limbo down, sidestep through, dismount, complete the obstacle just in time to watch the munchkin go through it. Boop. Maybe. Oh,
I stepped on myself.
a squeak of danger. And she's through it safely. Beautiful dismount. That might get her bronze at this year's games.
Bronze? Wow. I was gonna say fourth.
Eh.
So that'll do it for today's video. I don't know what to say. It's what happens when a once in a multiple generation storm shows up and just kind of wreaks havoc. I know it was a once in a generation storm, not only because of the numbers gathered during the storm, like how much snow fell, wind gusts, ice, yada yada afterwards, but when Sabrina and I were almost back down to Rex, some of the trees we had crossed over in the morning, we didn't have to cross over to anymore. They were cut up by a chainsaw. So at the time I was like, I don't remember these being cut up this morning. As we got further down, almost back to Rex, there was a couple of middle-aged gentlemen there. One had a chainsaw and the other one was chucking the wood into the back of a pickup. Upon coming up to them, they looked down and said, oh, those guys are smart. They have their snowshoes on. I said, yeah, couldn't make it to the trailhead, so we put our snowshoes on and see if we can make it. And talking to them, so on and so forth, pleasantries. And it turns out these guys had lived, they were locals. They had lived in the town of Eldon, or around the town of Eldon, which is the town where the Hamma dumps into the Hood Canal, so the freshwater river dumps into the saltwater. But they said they had been living there in Eldon for, like, one of them for 35, one of them for almost 50 years. And they said they had never seen a storm do this kind of damage. Like, yeah, the rainstorms in November whip up in the wind and do it, but they'd never seen a snowstorm do this kind of damage. Because, like I hopefully mentioned a couple times in the videos, I'm filming this a couple days later because getting organized, yada, yada, yada. But hopefully, like I said in the videos, that Christmas storm dumped like 3 or 3.5 feet of snow in that portion of the Olympics where we are. And then there was an ice storm afterwards. So that's what brought all the trees down and caused all the destruction, and why there was still multiple feet of snow on the roadway a month and a half, almost 2 months after this snow fell. So this was like a historic storm, which is why we couldn't get to the trailhead when we driving with Rex. And when we did finally get to the trailhead and had a bunch of trouble getting to the trailhead, we just bagged it because there was no way we were going to make it to the lake. If it looked that bad down at 600 feet of elevation, who knows what it was going to look like up at Lena Lake, which is like feet short of 1,800 feet of elevation. So normally that lake, you run into snow by the time you get to the lake, but most of the time, unless you're right after a cold snap, it's dry, well, snow-free dry at the trailhead, and you put your snowshoes on somewhere up the trail as you get close to the lake. So that's how crazy of a storm it was. But we'll try again springtime, summertime, either with Nash, Sabrina, or both, because that's supposed to be really pretty lake. But I was hoping to do it in winter when there's less traffic, so on and so forth. But didn't work out. Instead, we got to experience the after effects of a historic storm up the Hamahama River. So there's no other real information to say, I guess. Give a like down below or a dislike if you don't like that we didn't make it to the lake and I lied to you on YouTube. Leave a comment and go watch some other videos. There should be more content up shortly, hopefully, depending on when I get time. But thank you for joining us, and ciao.